Okay, this is the library on the second floor at the Sentinel. You can see that they have power over here. There's actually, I believe it's a couple outlets, but there should be power right back here behind. Oh, there it is right there. So you can plug into there. They do have an in-house system here that you can use for backups, but it's only they'd have to bring it in and whatnot. So if there were an emergency, you can use the in-house equipment. They would you'd have to contact them. But generally, we'll set up somewhere over here or in the center, and power's there. This is on the second floor, and this room is called the library. One other thing to note too is that a lot of times people have their bartender and bar staff is in this room here. So you may want a speaker aimed at this bar, so you can put one right there and aim it straight across so people can hear the music in the bar area there too. Usually we're not setting up in here, but just so you can see it. Okay. All right, so this is the billiard room. And just so you know, it connects also to this room called the lodge room. We have at one point in time, when customers wanted sound over there, what we've done is we've set up right over here. We set up over here. There's power there. We had a table set up right in front, ran a cord along here, and then around that door, and rack around on the floor all the way here, weave it in here, and then put it behind this door, and then you'd have a speaker set up right there. So that is an option sometimes, but I don't recommend it. It's a lot of work, but just in case, that may be an option, so that way you're aware of how to do it. Lodge room is usually where the bar is set up, and then in most cases, we're set up on this end here, and there is power against the wall right there, and there's power there, and I believe there's power there. So that should give you an idea of what the room is like. This is the card room at the Sentinel. It's a very narrow room. There is power along the wall there, there's power there, and there's power over there. A possible situation, if a customer ever wants music across the hall where the bar's at for cocktail hour, you can set up your system in here, and then you could put one speaker in the hallway and just make sure you tape it down either underneath the door that way or underneath that way too. And the lodge room is right in there, and I'll show you that in a second here. So this is the lodge room. It is right next door to the billiard room and across the hall from the card room, all on the second floor at the Sentinel Hotel. Just so you can see, that's where the card room is, right there across the hall. So you can go right straight through there. So that way you can, if you wanted to have sound in here, you can just put a speaker in the hallway there. Okay. If you ever have to set up here, you can see there's power that side, that corner, and there's also power there. So even if you did a powered speaker that you were putting in a separate room as a satellite speaker, you can power it there for power and then set it up right here. Maybe put it in that corner, because that's not a door, it's just a fake door. Okay? So this is the Renaissance room in the Sentinel Hotel. This is generally where a lot of ceremonies take place. You can give an idea of the length of the room. In terms of ceremony setup, you can see how it kind of generally is. There's a stage there now. There's not always a stage, but you put rows of seats all the way down here. And then just so you know, there is only power on the south side of the room. So there's a power outlet there, there's one down there, and there's one over there. What they generally have us do is they have us use that power. We'll run a cord along the floor here, against these doors, tape it down right here, and they set up a 6-footer right over there for us. And then we just put our speakers that direction, and that should be sufficient for this room. So that is the Renaissance room. So this is the grand ballroom. This is on the third floor of the Sentinel. Generally, we're set up on this stage here. It's very rare that that would not be the case. But in terms of power, there's power right there, and there's power over here. Well, it's on the other side. You have to just go look back here. You go around this, I think. Nope, I don't know how to get back there, actually. I believe there's power in these boxes, too. Let's see. No, that's for mics. I thought we had some power here. Nope, mics as well. But that's for in-house mic system here. I think the power for that is in this room. So they have it locked. So I guess you're just going to have to use this actual power outlet. So hopefully it's not too confusing for you. But there's 2 plugs, and you can just run them up the extensions along the side and the back, so that way it's not visible. And that is the grand ballroom at the Sentinel. This is the Governor Ballroom in the Sentinel. This is probably their largest space that they have. I don't know what the max capacity is on it, but it's not necessary for the video purposes. But I've done weddings of 300 people plus here. So just give you an overall feel for the size of the room. In terms of power, there's power up on the stage in these little cubby holes. I'll show you how to get to them. And then there is power on the sides. When we DJ here, a lot of times we're set up in this left or right corner here. But there's another option too. So there's power right over there, you can see. And they'll put a table diagonally there. Another option is over here in this corner, and if you are set up in this corner, it's probably easier to run power off of the stage, and I'll show you how that works in a second, just because that is actual access to the kitchen, and they're coming in and out. And I'll also show you how to load in here too, because that is fairly unique with this venue. So in terms of power, they have these little boxes here. You pull open this, and you can see there's power. So when that is slid parallel, that means it's open, and you can just take your fingernail and pop that open, and then you can just lift this whole thing up, grab your power out of there, and then run the cords discreetly down to your spot. If you're on the stage and you want to use power in a more centrally located spot, then use the boxes right here. I think there's one is a mic box and the other one is a power box. So that should be helpful. And again, that is the Governor Ballroom. And just so you're aware one more time, you'll go through the kitchen to do the exit out of this space to go to where load-in is. Okay, the doors you want to go in from parking are right over here. It says Jake's Grill, Jake's Catering Delivery Entrance. So that's where we're going to go, and she's going to let us in. And then we're going to go up through here, and there are some carts sometimes which you can use, these little wheelie ones right here. And then we'll go up here into the elevator, and depending on what floor you're working on that day, which in this case for example purposes we'll go to 4. Alright, here is the 4th floor. You would come out into the kitchen here, and you're going to make a left, and you come down this hallway here, and this will take you into the grand. There's doors there, and the one where you probably come through will be way down here, because this is usually the easiest spot to set up in. And that way you avoid all the chairs and all that kind of stuff, and then you can pull your gear there or on the stage, wherever you're getting set up. And that's load in for the Sentinel.